This couldn't be farther from the truth. In fact, our greatest allies have been the Black community. Black and Asian solidarity has a long, long history.
The Asian community is literally so anti-black, and it literally fucking pisses me off. Like, we are literally so uneducated, uninformed, just misinformed.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for the love, thanks for the subscription. I really appreciate. Okay guys, today I brought another conversation here, and this one is really deep. For a long time, Asian Americans were seen as quiet in Americans' racial conversation. Many people assumed they would stay neutral, stay silent, or stay out of it completely. But now, something has changed. Asian Americans are finally speaking up, and what they are saying is catching a lot of Black Americans off guard. Some of these statements are creating unity, others are creating tension, and a few are making people very uncomfortable. In today's video, we are looking at what Asian Americans are saying, why they are saying it now, and how Black Americans are reacting to it across social media. Let's watch out.
This couldn't be farther from the truth. In fact, our greatest allies have been the Black community. Black and Asian solidarity has a long, long history. And that's not to erase the examples from both sides of intolerance, hate, and violence. But at our best, we have long fought alongside each other, such as Frederick Douglass advocating for Chinese and Japanese immigration in 1869. Or when Henry Turner and I.D.B. Wells spoke out on behalf of Filipino freedom fighters. Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Martin Luther King, and many Black protesters condemning the violence and war in Vietnam. Japanese Americans fighting alongside the Black community to repeal the Emergency Detention Act. The powerful relationship between Yuri Kochiyama and Malcolm X. Grace Lee Boggs and her husband James Boggs. Jesse Jackson, the NAACP for Vincent Chin. And the majority of Asian Americans who support the Black Lives Matter movement.
The Asian community is literally so anti-black, and it literally fucking pisses me off. Like, we are literally so uneducated, uninformed, just misinformed, everything about the Black community, and it pisses me off. And like, it just boggles my mind how a lot of Asians see Black people as beneath them. I shit you not, I literally saw someone on my story and I literally was so gagged. Like, I was like, are you serious right now? And I sent him a message, ask him if he's being serious about this. This guy is Bhutanese. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but like, I guess he got like some kind of spray tan or whatever because he's doing some kind of stupid movie shoot or whatever. Roy posts on his story and says, because his skin is like 10 shades darker or something, he said, "Can I say the N-word now?" with a ninja emoji next to it. I slid up so fucking quick and I asked this man, are you fucking serious right now? And guess what? That man left me on red. Need I say again that he is not Black? He is Bhutanese from Bhutan or whatever the fuck you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Quite honestly, like, the Asian community is literally so underhandedly racist to the Black community, and it just, like, not to mention the Black community is one of the most supportive of marginalized groups that has ever, like, uplifted the Asian community and actually put effort into supporting us. I'm probably gonna piss a lot of Asians off for saying that, but it's literally the truth, and I fucking see it for what it is.
The Asian community needs some serious self-reflection when it comes to racism. As you guys probably know, I moved to London 2 months ago. I live in a pretty affluent area, and let me tell you this, so far I have not seen a single Asian girl or gay guy holding hands with a Black or brown person on the street or at school. In fact, almost all of them were with white dudes. A few days ago, I matched with someone from Bangladesh on a dating app. He's incredibly smart and humorous. He graduated from Imperial College, which is like one of the best universities in the world, and he's got a good paying job in technology. However, to my surprise, after we matched, his opening line was, "Thank you for liking me back. I'm aware that I may not be your preferred ethnicity, but I decided to shoot my shot anyways." At that very moment, I felt like all the dots were connecting. Why are so many Asian people actively discriminating against others with a darker color of skin, especially in the context of dating? By the way, I'm very fed up with excuses like race is highly correlated with socioeconomic status. Well, in London, which is very racially diverse, by the way, there are so many super accomplished black and brown people in banking and technology. And my observation is that many Asian girls and gay guys would rather choose a white guy with mediocre salary. My message to the Asian community is very simple. Whitewashing yourself is pathetic. Don't do it.
You know, I can honestly say that I truly, truly appreciate the Black community and being in support of understanding what the Asian community is going through. Mainly because we don't deserve your kindness. Like, we don't deserve the amount of gratitude, the moral support, the kindness that you have provided us on all levels of platform when it comes to being so relatable. Simply because of all of the racist shit that you guys have endured from our community in its own. Don't deserve it, you know, because even coming from a family of immigrants, like, for our family to come here to the States and to either piggyback, hop on, ignoring all of those things and not acknowledging a problem of us being racist to Black Americans, but immigrating from a whole nother country and then just developing a whole racist mindset because of what white Americans have planted is freaking insane. So we don't deserve your guys' kindness. We don't deserve this. So when I say that I'm truly, truly appreciative and I really, really do admire the amount of support that we have been getting, I truly mean it. For a while now, I understood that even for myself, that I have appropriated Black culture, and however that may look, right? As simply as being given permission from some of my Black friends to use the N-word, to talking, dressing, and just really trying to find a way to be actually accepted by the Black community because my own community wouldn't accept me, you know? So when I found a group of people that's willing to accept me for who I am, I wanted to be so relatable that, like, I pretty much just like pushed myself into appropriating some of the things of your own culture, when in reality, the Black community honestly just accepted me for who I was, regardless of whatever it may be. And now that I've been healing from the type of environment that I've grown from, I apologize for ever overstepping any type of boundaries, to ever make it seem like it was ever okay to appropriate anything of the Black community. And that's why I feel like it's so important that we really need to acknowledge that we do not deserve this amount of kindness that the Black community has given us to support that, like, hey, you know what? We know what you're going through. We are here for you. We understand. Because we have done some fucked up shit. And at this point, it doesn't even matter if it's the East Asians, the Southeast Asians. We all took a part of that. Do you know what I'm saying? Even with the divide between East Asians and Southeast Asians, and how Southeast Asians are actually looked upon the East Asians, it doesn't matter at that point, because overall, we are all one community here in America. You know, in the States, we're in one community. Which is why it's important that we have to honestly talk about all these things. We have to talk about things that our people have done and hold ourselves accountable, so that way we can actually move forward into creating a more unified society. In America, we need to do that. And I'm not also just talking about the Asian community. I'm also noting any other families of immigrants that come here. You guys all understand and know that your families also came here and went along with all of the racism that exists in America, and they went along with it for whatever reason why they did, right? Because we all have our own traumas and we all have a different ways of survival. We all did it. But now in this new society, it is our job to make sure it doesn't get any further than what it has been. This is all of the immigrants. This is the Hispanics. This is the Muslims, Arabs, Jewish, Asians. All of us need to come together and really acknowledge that. For the sake of the future, we have to do that. So for the white people who don't understand, like, you guys need to all inclusively accept accountability for it, because your people were the ones that for generations, hundreds of years, starting from slavery up until now, your families have been teaching generations of racist shit, to the point where immigrants come over and they adapt that type of mentality. You have to hold yourself accountable.
And unfortunately, yes, you do have to pay for it. You have to hold yourself accountable the same way how the Asian community existing right now needs to be accountable of all the racist shit that we have done too. Because that's the only way to fix that. You need to acknowledge it and you have to put in the work. So as much as you're trying to prove to us that you're not one of those people, you need to prove it to your people why they shouldn't be like that. You don't need to be advocating to us. You don't need to be advocating to any other person of color. You need to advocate it to your own people, because the person who told me if it wasn't for you effing Chinese people because of COVID shutdown, that was 5 years ago. He still exists in this world. He's still planting those little seeds with those little remarks out here in this world from 5 years ago. He didn't go anywhere. He's not like he died. So yes, this conversation has truly evolved into something for me. And I just feel like it would be doing a disservice for someone who's just talking about like the whole Asian market and stuff and not really acknowledging that elephant in the room.
I'm making this video as an Asian American to address my fellow Asian Americans who engage in anti-Black racism. Let's talk about this. For example, this right-wing Asian says, let me list all the problems that Black Americans face that is shared by people of no other race. Okay, list over. Yes, it is true. If a Black person has a problem, an Asian or white person has the same problem somewhere in America. There's nothing special about your race. This is, in short, white supremacy talking points. Let's address this. Here's just a very short list of the unique suffering that Black Americans have had to and still have to go through. 266 years enslavement, 99 years of Jim Crow, 300% maternal mortality rate, 2% the wealth of whites, explicitly denied the GI Bill, FHA loans, and college admissions, and Social Security access. SCOTUS ruled approval to commit Black genocide in Buck versus Bill, which, by the way, has never actually been overruled. Arrested 10 times more than whites for the exact same acts. And don't even get me started on the dozens and dozens of Black massacres committed by white supremacists throughout American history, through the 1980s, by vigilante groups, and by state government. Massacres for which reparations were never paid, and none of the white supremacists were ever held accountable. And as an Asian American and human rights lawyer, I'm acutely aware of the anti-Asian racism throughout American history. Everything from the Chinese Exclusion Act to the Asiatic Exclusion League to the outright ban on Asian immigration in 1924. So how ridiculous do you think it sounds when Asians are anti-Black, when it was Black Americans and Black civil rights leaders who ensured that Asians would get their immigration rights back as part of the 1965 Civil Rights Acts? The civil rights movement influenced U.S. immigration policy intimately because Black civil rights leaders recognized their own history and did not want that same suffering on Asian Americans. Therefore, leaders like Dr. King demanded that
White people find my TikToks. Why are you speaking in my language? If you want a safe space, go back to China. Why are you in our white country? Don't you eat dogs and cats? Insert picture of cartoon yellow face. Insert remark about how Asians can't even side-eye because their eyes are too small. And then the Uncle Tongues walk in. For some reason, it's always Asian men who do this more than Asian women in my comment sections. And then they're like, oh, but China colonizes. And then they start yelling Oxford study at me, even on the videos where I have talked about having Asian fetish. Now, when Black TikTok finds my videos first... Yes, girl, we hear you. Insert picture of cartoon characters wearing bonnets listening. Insert photograph of Black person snapping. I am sat. Let her cook. The Latino and Native delegations walk on in. Wow, we go through the exact same thing. White person tries a whataboutism or a gotcha saying something racist. 3 Black commenters immediately shut him down. 1 Black person comments a picture of someone sipping tea, followed by like 200 other Black people saying what they are drinking in the comment section. One of them saying they brought snacks. One of them saying they have popcorn. One of them saying they're setting up the grill. The Picnicos try to walk in. Black commenters start ratioing them like nobody's business.
What a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We're finally getting to the point where other people are being honest about how we show up for them and how we support them. Welcome to the show. Now, I've seen some of this creator's content before, and I've seen her talking about, you know, how there's a lot of, she calls them pick-me-cos, a play on pick-me-sha, which is a term coined by Black people. Uncle Tongues, a play on Uncle Toms, which, of course, Black people. Using Ebonics. I think it is, I mean, in her case, I'm not, like, offended by it, or I wouldn't say, like, oh, she's trying to cosplay. I just think that it's just so, it's kind of ironic, but it's also like, wow, because Asian people have also had a history of being racist toward Black people. They still do to this day. We just got to be honest. Like, they set up shop in our neighborhoods, the nail salons, like, I done seen them calling us the N-word, the beauty supply stores, beating down Black women, accusing them of stealing. Sometimes they do, but even when they're not, you don't, even if they're not, and even if they are, the Asian men have been trying to like put hands and feet. So we've had to get some of their shops shut down. Like, it has been a long-standing history of them also siding with the white tees to try to be the model minority. And they fought collectively to end affirmative action because they felt like we were getting admitted into institutions at a disproportionate rate over them, like more than them. When once affirmative action was done, we were still going to school at the same rate as we were before, because I don't know why everybody just thinks that we're dumb. Like, I don't get it. Like, we've invented a lot of the things that you use around your house right now, like technology included. Anyways, I digress. But it's just so funny to see how, like, you know, culturally impactful and influential we are to other people when they're actually honest about it, because we really are some of the most supportive people on planet Earth. And I say this all the time, like, immigrants and, you know, people that come into this country, they wouldn't have had it as easy. They wouldn't even have basic human rights or civil rights had it not been for the fight and the plight of the Black American. So for them, a lot of them, to have come to this country to try to, you know, pick up the torch of subjugating us and, you know, just treating us poorly, when we literally, it's in our nature to support. You saw how she said when we see them going at it in the comments, we will assemble and, like the goddamn Negro of Avengers, and get people up out of here. We are very, very supportive, and we've always been that way. But for some odd reason, people have been trying to paint us out to be these big brown monsters, which is not true at all. I'm like, the white tea has always been exactly who y'all try to paint us out to be. And this Asian woman, literally, she's like, oh, they are so racist, they saying this and that in the comments. So why? Like, I get it. You know, everybody has been colonized and you think white is right. But, like, at the end of the day, why would you align yourself with people that also look down on you instead of aligning yourself with people that you know would have your back? And I know that we probably are a little past the point of trying to have an alliance. Like, that's not what I'm calling for. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if said people, immigrants, other people of color, came here and aligned with us, the United States of America would look very different. I'm just going to say it like that. And not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Because we really, really do ride out for people. We do. But when it's us against 7 other fucking nations, it's kind of hard to continuously try to fight back. So this is just, it's just something new going on. And it's just very new. Anyways, what y'all think? Spread love is the freaking way.
This conversation shows that race relations in America are shifting. People are no longer comfortable staying silent, and that silence is being replaced with honesty. Whether people like it or not, the real question now is, will this conversation lead to understanding or more division? Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.